I'm going to go through some business metamorphosis. And maybe, because it's long, but it's important to understand the ultimate outcome, which is the only sustainable competitive advantage in life, in work. The only long-term sustainable competitive advantage is agility, is the ability to fundamentally recreate yourself and to get new products and services to market faster than the competitive landscape. So agility. So that whole purposeful kumbaya culture that we created, great place to work, gave us agility. So yes, we had an idea out of the gate, and we knew that this is what we were going to do, and we were going to be the best at it. And we started brokering computer chips. Back then, the industry was really, really new. And, PCs would come with no memory, like 64K of RAM, like nothing to it, right? Yeah. And so, but all the computers inside had slots to add more memory. And so we actually started as a wholesaler. We bought a book of all the mom and pop computer shops around the country. And back then, there was a lot because the consumers were less sophisticated. Mm-hmm. And we'd started in a basement, so they didn't know we're in an office building. Yeah. And we'd sell them chips, so when customers would bring in their PCs to upgrade, they could upgrade them, and they buy their memory chips from us. So it started there, and it's great. And our plan was, we're going to do this in perpetuity, and we're going to be amazing. Then something happened. 3 years later, year and a half later, the Reagan administration imposed trade sanctions on Japan for dumping semiconductors. So the prices skyrocketed, which is great for us. We could sell above replacement cost, and it was great. Out of the gate, we did great. Mm-hmm. And so our plan was to continue to do that forever. And then something happened. He removes the tariffs. Prices are going to plummet. Buying high and selling low is not a good idea, as you know. So I'm like, okay, we got to change, and we got to change quickly. We can't do just this anymore. But now we had all these customers, these mom and pop computer shops, and we're selling them chips. And I'm like, well, maybe we could also sell them video cards and hard drives and new, multifunction cards and different things that go inside the computer, or upgrade monitors. And we started selling all the components, and that was awesome. And it worked great for a couple of years. Then something happened. All of a sudden, there's this huge consolidation in the industry, and people who are competitors started merging and buying each other up, to now all of a sudden there's 3 of them. And our customers, and our plan was, we're going to do this now. This is going to be our business. But then it changed, not because of us, just industry and society changes. So all this consolidation, well, now I can't compete because my customers can buy for what I buy for because of their my competitors' buying power. So now I'm like, oh my God, we got to change. So I'm like, well, I have all the parts to build computers. Why don't I start making computers? And so I started assembly line. Now we have all these mom and pop computer shops around the country that were originally buying chips and then components. And then I create my own product line called PDS, Paragon Development Systems. Paragon Development Systems was the name of the computer we put on there. And we would make them authorized resellers. We'd go around country and give them PCs and stuff. And it was great. We continued to grow. Mm-hmm. Then something happened. So our plan was, we're going to be great at this. Then something happened. We weren't selling direct. We were only selling to mom and pop computer shops. Mom and pop computer shops started to die. There used to be, in a small town like Oconomowoc, there was 4 mom and pop computer shops downtown. Like the first people that knew anything about PCs, like in mid and late 80s, people would go, wow, you're so smart at this. You should go into business, because nobody knew anything about them in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. So they'd go into business. Well, then all of a sudden, Intel starts marketing. Intel Inside, all computers are the same. People started using them and becoming familiar. Then they started buying at a price, going, well, I can go to Best Buy. I can go, wherever. I can go online to Dell. I can go wherever to buy it. There's a lot of people were in business that, big ones that are no longer there. But all of a sudden, mom and pop computer shops, all of our customers, we had it all figured out. We had a plan. Mm-hmm. We were going to expand that. And then they all began to die. The plan needed to change. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to open up direct. and we don't want to step on the toes of our customers. So we're going to go for big companies because they were focused on little business and end users. And so we focused on large enterprise. Was great. We took off and we started selling tons of PCs, build a new corporate headquarters. And, Y2K was great for us. Everybody's like, Y2K, we're going to need to replace all of our computer systems at the company here. And I go, well, we're willing to help you with that. And it was great. So you know what? We had it all figured out. We're going to be the PC company, right? And that's what we did. And then all of a sudden something happened. We replaced all these people, all these companies, and we had big companies. I just focused on large companies and spent a ton of time and all our resources to get 1 or maybe 2 a year, then 4 a year. Like our goals were really not huge number of customers, but big customers. So like Mayo Clinic, when, we were done, we had 40,000 computers in Mayo Clinic. 40,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we would go in and they, but at that time they'd go, you know what, we're going to replace all of our computers and we're glad to help. And in the beginning of 1991, they're like, thank God we're done. We've replaced all the PCs. We won't need to buy another computer for 3 years because they've all been replaced. Okay. Well, I had a plan. I was going to continue to sell PCs to them.
But they were replace them.
Now they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, you know what? Companies got to change. So now I got to get into services. So then I start building a service organization, buy a company. Then I have to get into data center, start hiring engineers, building that, selling server storage, And then all of a sudden we're helping people implement help desk. And then all of a sudden, I'm rambling through the rest. And then people go like, why do you stop telling us how to be, our own help desk company? Why didn't you just be it? So I'm like, okay, we'll build a help desk and we'll be your help desk company. If you call for Epic MyChart support for medical records anywhere in the country, odds are the person that's picking up that phone, even if they say ProHealth, Mayo Clinic, Kaiser Permanente, that's from our help desk.
Really?
Yeah. And so and then all of a sudden we're the virtualization company. We were using the word cloud before cloud was a word. In IT infrastructure. So we're the first company to do VMware virtualization. And so anyways, it's a really, really long story, but it's really important. We knew what we were going to do. And then something changed. So then we figured it out. And then something changed and we figured it out. And then something changed. And so I'll never come out with I did it my way movie or story, like this interview. I'm not going to tell you how to have an idea and that things will never change. I'm just saying, if we wouldn't have stopped being a memory broker, we would have died. If we wouldn't have switched from being just a component wholesaler, we would have died. If we wouldn't have stopped just being PCs wholesale, we would have died. If we wouldn't have stopped and changed from being just PCs direct, we would have died. If we wouldn't have launched all these new things, we would have died. And even if we were the best still memory broker, we still wouldn't be here. It's like somebody saying, hey man, did you hear? We just built the world's fastest fax machine. People go, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?